Hey Hermits, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Dara and today we are going to be setting up my TBR carts. So I recently bought myself a little shelved trolley, as I'm sure you've seen many people in these parts have, and I want to stack this with some books that I really want to get to soon. So I'm thinking of this almost like my little up next station. I do read a lot of things on my Kindle. I love my Kindle. I think I love my Kindle just as much as physical books. I know that's shocking, but I do. So these are not all books I'm going to be reading this month because there is a bit of a split between the formats I read. But I kind of like the idea of just having a smaller selection next to me all the time, so they're very easy to grab from. And in addition to just wanting to have like more books right next to me when I'm sat on the couch, I have a few intentions going forward that I think will be facilitated by this. So one of the things that I really want to do is to start reading like one essay or one short story every single day, because for some reason I keep buying short story collections and I keep buying essay collections, but I never read short stories or essays. So I need to tackle that. So I've decided that I'm always going to try and have like one collection of either essays or short stories on the go at any time. And I think by keeping them there like in front of me will help me keep that front of mind. So that's something that I want to make sure has space on here. And also the same with poetry. So I've really been getting back into poetry after quite a lengthy break since finishing my degree. And a lot of the poetry that I have are in like nice slim little volumes that are very easy to get to. But I also do have, so if you can see, some like really big collections that are like very much full of many poems. And when books are like that, they're not the kind of things that I'm just going to sit and read cover to cover. I feel like I need to be able to dip in and out of them and read them in small bursts. So I want to make sure that I as well as having a collection of essays or short stories on the go, I also have like a poetry book that I'm working through too. So I want to make sure I've got space for those. I want to make sure that anything that I am buddy reading in like the next month or so is on here. And then just things that have been taking my fancy recently. I have a few readathons that I'm intending to play along with. A lot of those books will be on my Kindle, but then a good chunk of them will be physical books too. And as you know, if you've watched my other videos here recently, one of my big goals for 2022 is to halve my physical TBR, which means I need to get from, I don't know where we are right now, something like 315 down to 160-ish. So I've just pulled those numbers out of nowhere. I can't remember the actual numbers off the top of my head, but I want to like really drastically reduce my physical TBR. And I just think having a smaller selection to choose from is going to prompt me to actually read physical books instead of opting for library books or Kindle books, which for some reason overwhelm me less. So that's my really rambly intro. You're so welcome. I am going to just take a moment to rummage through my shelves and decide what is going on here, and then I will give you a little tour of my final picks. So see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with how this is looking. I think it's going to work pretty well for me, but let me just switch the camera around so you can have a little look at what's going on. Okay, so this top tray is very much my imminent reads. So I'm doing a Jane Austen read along this year. This is the first book that we're reading, Sense and Sensibility, and then the next one is Pride and Prejudice. I still need to finish this, but in March, hopefully I'll be starting that one. And then this is another little classic that I sampled a chapter of recently in my Try a Chapter video, and I knew immediately that it's something that I wanted to get to soon. These are the 4 books that I'm going to be reading for Coridathon, which is a like a Korean fiction or a Korean book readathon hosted by Books with Chloe and Monica Kim. A Dowry of Blood is something that I had a dream about it last night, so I just feel like it's something that I want to read really soon. It Ends With Us is a book that I am buddy reading with some friends on Instagram this month, so keeping that here. Tell No One by Harlan Coben is another one that I sampled during the Try a Chapter video and immediately wanted to carry on, so hopefully I will get to that one this month. Evening Class by Maeve Binchy is an old fave, and it's just something I've been wanting to reread, so popping it up here just in case I feel like I need a comfort blanket read this month. Tia Williams' 7 Days in June, that was one of my favourite books of 2021. It was definitely in the top 3. And it is also the buddy read for a Patreon that I'm in this month, so looking forward to reading that again. Then we have Blanco and Roja by Anna Marie McLemore, and this is something that has been on my shelves for quite a while, and I've noticed I keep buying this author's books and not reading them, so I'm trying to rectify that, and I want to give this one a go soon. And then we have the collection that I mentioned, so I've chosen a collection of myths for my first attempt at doing like one daily installment, and so I wouldn't necessarily say that it's essays or short stories, but they are individual stories, so I'm counting it. This is a beautiful collection of myths told from the female perspective by Charlotte Higgins, looking very much forward to it. And then the poetry collection that I'm going to be working through is the collected poems of Audre Lorde, so really looking forward to that too. My second shelf, we have a collection of non-fiction books, so I do try and read one non-fiction book every month, and these are a few that are on my radar at the moment. I have a collection of many, but I've handpicked a few that touch on different topics just so that there's something for every mood. So we have Women Who Run With the Wolves, which is a feminist exploration by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. We have Intuition by Judy Gee, which is obviously all about intuition and how to activate it. We have The Sleep Revolution by Arianna Huffington. Hopefully that will help me fix my sleep issues. Breath by James Nestor, which is about the science of breathing properly. So if you don't know, by day I am a life and business coach, and one of the modalities that I use to help people is breath work. So I'm very much interested in the science of breath. Then we have Aphrodite, which is kind of it's not really an essay collection, but it's a food/sex based memoir told in vignettes. That's the best way to describe it. Then we have Sacred Success, which is it's like a spiritual guide to wealth and making money. And as a business owner, that's something that is important to me. Then we have Waking the Witch by Pam Grossman, which is kind of a historical reflection on witchcraft and women. And then here also we have my Kindle, we have my journal, and we have a little pencil case with different pens and highlighters in. And then on the bottom shelf, I have collected together all of my unread romance books. So they're double stacked a little bit, but these are a bunch of the romances that I haven't read that have been sitting on my shelves for ages, because what I've noticed that I tend to do is when I'm looking for a romance, I go immediately to my Kindle. I don't go to my physical books. That's something that I want to change, because like I said, I really want to halve my physical TBR, and romance is something that I can get through very, very quickly. So hopefully keeping them here will have them more front of mind for me, so I'll opt for them instead of just looking for a new Kindle book or a library book or whatever. So there you have it, a little view at my TBR cart. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do hit subscribe so you don't miss the next upload. But before you go, I would love to hear from you. Have you read any of the books that you can see here on my TBR cart? If you have, then tell me your thoughts. Obviously no spoilers, but which one do you think I should start with?